So today we're speaking with Missy Clarkson and Sarah Jane Truman from a Facebook hair group known as the Vancouver Hairstylist community. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future interviews. All the links that we mention in our interviews you can find in the description below. Missy and Sarah, welcome and thank you so much for joining us.
Yay!
So the Vancouver Hairstylist community. Missy, what is your story?
Well, I'm the creator and co-admin of the Vancouver Hairstylist community. I am a salon owner. I own a little tiny walk-up salon in downtown Vancouver called Studio 209. I've also been an educator and brand manager for Kevin Murphy back when they were a little bit smaller. And I've been doing hair professionally since about 2005. And before that, I did it as a hobby for almost a decade because I always had an interest. And I have a wife and a kid, and I studied opera and I sing in choirs.
Beautiful. A soprano.
Yeah, I'm a mezzo soprano.
Wow.
Are you going to sing something for us?
Absolutely not.
Come on.
This is about hair.
Yeah.
I'm the co-admin of the Vancouver Hairstylist community page with Missy. I co-own the Beehive Hair Lounge on Fraser Street. I've been in the industry about 17 years. I'm a musician too, not a classical musician so much as more of like a rock musician, I guess you would say. A family, 2 cats, and a little baby, and surprisingly not a lot of time on my hands during the shutdown.
Totally.
Everyone's like, I have so much time on my hands, and it's just like, where's the time? How did the two of you join forces to bring our community such a supportive, encouraging page?
Missy and I actually worked together at a salon in the Crosstown area 12, 13, 14 years ago. Missy created the page originally and was managing it on her own, ran into each other realized we had the same chiropractor. And ended up going for a coffee, and we were talking about the hair page, and Missy was like, do you want to come on and help me admin, because I feel like our values are always really aligned, and I feel like we wouldn't have to check in with each other that much all the time, because we would just trust one another's judgment. And I was like, yeah, sure, I guess let's do it. So that was how I came on to join Missy with the hair page, and lately it's just been growing out of control, the population on the Facebook page. Yeah,
I've always been into like community and community building, and I found that didn't always jive with some of the salons that I worked at. So when I opened my first salon, I thought it would be great to have some people in for like little casual classes with no brands involved, and like, let's talk about hair and let's talk about the industry, and let's not be unnecessarily competitive because there's plenty of heads to go around. Let's like learn and grow from each other, and let's like make the industry better at large in Vancouver, rather than like all this kind of backstabby sort of feeling, which can happen for any industry, I'm sure, but I really felt it at a couple places.
At some point, the hair industry felt like it was connected. People were together. The education was good. And at some point, it just kind of drifted off.
I mean, I originally started the page over 10 years ago. And so I was already feeling those sort of feelings at the time. So, I mean, maybe it was my lens from my perspective, but yeah, I mean, people always want community. People always need a hand, and to feel heard and understood and connected is so important anywhere. And so, especially when we're naturally very, emotional and artistic people, we want to have an understanding and feeling of being understood.
I've sort of always felt that there was a bit of a stereotype towards hairdressers that we can be catty and we can be competitive, and whenever you see a hairdresser as like a walk-on role on a TV show or a movie, they're gossiping and they've got something to say about this person and that person. And in my experience with most of the people that I've worked with closely in the industry and the salons that I've worked in, we're just normal people. Been really good friends with my coworkers. People are kind. People like to go home and knit and like walk their dog and go to bed. We're not all like
partier.
party, yeah.
Like bitching about it or whatever. And I feel like this hair community page has really highlighted that like most hairdressers that I know are incredibly driven, workaholics, give everything to their clients, and are just like fairly down to earth people who are willing to, put themselves out there all the time in order to do our jobs. And so the community gives us a place to come together and say, like, hey, I'm going to put my ego aside and just say, like, I've got this client who's got really puzzling hair to me, and she wants to make this big change with her color, and I'm not sure how to approach it. Does anyone have any guidance for me? And
That's happened a lot in the past with some chats that went back and forth.
That's what the page was mostly for initially. It was just like, what's been your experience? Hey, I'm thinking of switching color lines. I'm using this. What's been your experience with that? Or I'm stuck on a formula for this client, or like I've got a client whose hair has been corrected a few times and she really wants to go blonde again, but I don't think it's the right thing to do. You know, what would you do? And everyone's there to help each other.
Yeah, couldn't say it any better. As a stylist, salon owner, you know, I have to say it is nice to have that community attachment as both sides of it. Like I said, as a salon owner and as a stylist, because I have an ability to tell my stylist to go and join the community and showcase a different community outside of the community that we have in the salon. And it just shows the unity that we have as an industry. And you know, the amount of effort that you both put into the community about making sure the content is relevant and clean. It's awesome to be a part of that community. It's you always keep it on target, and I love that you call the individuals, or not even the individuals, out, but you make sure that you know. And Terenzio and I have one rule, and it's a big rule on the show, and it's no bullshit. And I feel like the community that you guys keep is no bullshit. So I think that's where we were like, let's get them on and showcase, right? Because like you said, our industry we have so much to offer people. And it's great to see other people are offering the same thing that we offer our clients to ourselves.